Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to Quests in Chaos. I am Tiana Wren Hansen. My pronouns are she, her, fey, fair, and tonight I will be your game master as we embark upon this adventure into Thirsty Sword Lesbians. We're going to begin the game in just a moment, but first, let's acknowledge an important friend of the channel, Evil Hat Games. Thirsty Sword Lesbians is published and distributed by Evil Hat Games. We want to shout out their latest release, Girl by Moonlight, a game about the tragic struggles and defiant triumphs of a group of magical girls resisting an oppressive society. Girl by Moonlight explores the heartbreak of denying who you really are and the transcendent power of relationships and community. You can support their release on BackerKit, there's 9 days left, by visiting the link in the info below or hitting !Evil Hat. Evil Hat has also been kind enough to offer a giveaway to help introduce more folk to the queer revolutionary joy of Thirsty Sword Lesbians. For every story episode, starting tonight, we will be giving away a code for $25 in Evil Hat electronic products, PDFs. So listen as you watch, and we will give you instructions on how to enter. So, before we get really diving into things, let's go ahead and go around the table and reintroduce everyone for those who may not have been here for session 0. So I'm going to start on my left. Your name, your pronouns, your character's name, and your character's pronouns, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is I, and I will be playing Amber Rose Lynn. My pronouns are she, her, and Amber Roses are also she, her.
Excellent.
I am Cheryl, she, they, and I am playing Cove, they, them.
Hi, I'm Pooja, and I'm playing Philomena Lowe, and we both use she, they.
Hi, I'm Angel, and I'll be playing Risa Corazon Buenaflor, and we both go by she, her.
Hi, I'm Cal Garrett, and I use they, them pronouns, and I'm playing Amanita Rubensis, who uses she, they pronouns.
Wonderful. Before we jump into the game, let me quickly talk about what inspiration is going to look like this month. For 1 inspiration coin or 500 bits, the players may add a D6 to their dice pool. Now, this is a 2d6 system, so that can be immensely powerful. So the player must declare that they're adding that d6 to the roll before they make the roll. For 2 inspiration coins or 1,000 bits, the players may purchase a string. If you want to know more about strings, go check out the session 0 or watch the shorter video that I did on the channel. So we, thanks to our wonderful patrons and fantastic donors from last week, you all are starting with a pool of 13 inspiration coins.
Wow.
Or at least that was the case when I counted them.
Wow.
I also start with this little stack going on back here. And as is correct for the Game Master, I have 5 generic strings that I can use on y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All right. So let's go ahead and dive in, friends. Welcome to the Conglomerate Isles of Apollo, a collection of dozens of large floating cities chained to the remains of a dying mining planet. Each island, each city-state, is ruled by a baron of industry and his family, all living in lush estates fueled by the suffering they cause on the planet below. We set our story in Little Frisia, where the seeds of rebellion first began to bloom. 6 years ago, a literary salon known as Les Violettes Dangereuses earned the ire of Baron DuChamp. Their crime? Writing and distributing seditious poetry and music to the masses, stirring up dark sentiments in the hearts of those oppressed by the glittering wealthy. Baron DuChamp sent his enforcers to the salon to arrest the Violettes and sentence them to a life sentence working the metal mines below. But when the enforcers swarmed the salon, Les Violettes Dangereuses fought back, armed with swords conjured from their words and drawn from their chests as they gave voice to the rebellious art within their souls. Led by Philomena Nebula and Frida Galaxy, the artists became guerrilla warriors, leading the fight against the Baron. The movement spread to the dozens of islands in the Conglomerate, spread by daring pilots in their swift airships as they dropped pamphlets, and by the luscious jazz singers who sang songs of rebellion in hidden clubs across the islands. And so, we find ourselves here, 6 years after the rebellion began, with our players, current members of Les Violettes Dangereuses, as a new development unfolds. Baron DuChamp has called for a peace summit to be held in his estate. And Les Violettes Dangereuses has been specially requested as the heart and soul of the rebellion. So, you 5, along with Philomena Nebula and Frida Galaxy, are walking through the halls of the place you never thought that you would be, the Baron's estate. You are surrounded by wealth. You can feel it in every pore of your being as you walk through these halls, your heels clicking on floors that have never seen boots of the likes of yours. Beautiful light streams in. It is a green place up here, far above what is below on the dying planet. And as you each walk through these halls, you catch the glimpses of the people who are watching you. Servants who pop out, stare at you, slip back in. One of them shyly waves back to Amanita before ducking away. And you all make your way through the halls. You know that there are many people here of all different stations. You have been asked here as the leader, as the members of the primary rebellion, but there are people here who are under the Baron of industry, those who also profit off of the suffering of others, but also other groups of those who could be persuaded in any direction. The fight against the Baron has been long and exhausting and hard, and it has reached the point where everyone acknowledges that this fight is no longer in everyone's best interest. Now, there are certainly the voices of those who would say, well, crush the rebellion, whatever you have to do. But the Baron seems to be softening, perhaps. Enough to invite all of you here to his estate. Is there anything that you're looking for as you are walking through these halls?
I'm on high alert. I don't trust this situation at all. So I'm probably back of the pack, eyes just scanning, looking suspiciously at those poor servants who are gazing at us. Yeah.
I think for Riza, she'll like take a glance back at Philomena, and she's gonna keep playful. She has life alert. Like, she's a little bit alert, but she also senses the tension with her like companion. So she kind of playfully kind of like bends over like this and winks, and then continues on forward.
I don't know if Amanita would understand that like she's not supposed to touch things. So I think like she's definitely trying to touch things. If anybody stops her or tells her that she shouldn't, she won't. But like,
Keep going.
oil paintings. Is that? Okay, that's not real. Okay.
There is a room that you pass by as you're walking through that is the greenest thing you have ever seen in your life.
Immediately running in there. Just like disregarding.
On the way out. On the way out. On the way out.
Oh,
On the way out.
but
On the way out.
it's green.
I know.
It's green.
I know. We'll get it on the way out.
How is it so green?
Money.
While they're all doing that, I think Amber Rose has somehow led the charge and is very confused because she was just listening to the shadows around her, and they're kind of like talking her through the whole thing. Like, okay, this is this society. You have these social etiquettes, and she's very, very confused about this like very quick like 101 social etiquette 101 that's happening in front of her.
Excellent. As you're like kind of maybe pausing a little bit and waiting for Amanita to get herded forward by Cove, you glance down a back hallway. This is clearly something that the servants use more often than the gentry, but someone left a door open as they were ducking back and away. Mm-hmm. And looking down there, you do see more shadows. And these shadows don't look like the ones that you're used to.
I take a quick glance at how everybody else is distracted by other things, and then I start edging that way.
As you're edging that direction, you're starting to hear little whispers, little flecks of sound all around you. But another sound that you're not accustomed to from the unseen, the clanks of chains.
I strain my ears to try to listen to them even more.
As you're listening and really intent and focused on these voices, you can hear a little, "Help us."
Hello?
And the whispering stops instantly. And you get the sense of all of these eyes on you. But it's not in a unfriendly sort of way. It's really more hopeful, fearful curiosity.
Okay. Can I try to reach out to them maybe a little bit magically, or just try to grasp at these straws that are being thrown at me right now?
Yes. Why don't you give me the first roll of the game?
Yeah.
And give me a spirit roll
Okay.
as you're making a move. Is there a particular playbook move that you would like to use here?
Let's see. I have divination, but it's the unseen truth of somebody present. I don't really know if shadows count as people present. So
For you, do they?
yeah. Roll spirit. Okay. Can you remind me on how to roll?
Absolutely. So you roll 2d6 and you add them up and then you add your spirit to that roll and then you tell me what the number is.
Okay. I got a 4 and a 6, so that's a 10 plus 2 spirit is 12.
Excellent.
Amber Rose.
So that is what's called an upbeat because you rolled 10 or higher, and in that circumstance, you just succeed. You succeed well.
Mm-hmm.
So you're reaching out with all of your senses. You've trained for this since you were just barely able to walk and talk, and you're reaching out with all of these senses, feeling for the places where the voices are coming from, and you're able to slip into the conversation stream as these unseen are whispering back and forth. Can she see us? Do you think? Oh my gosh, is there what? They're very confused because they're not accustomed to being seen, but you also hear stronger than before those chains. And straining to see with that amazing roll, you can actually see the shadows that are almost humanoid shape. And you can see these links of shadow tying them to the wall.
Right. Okay. I start asking questions of the ones that are like super confused, that don't seem like they're chained up. I'm like, what's going on here?
You can see us. She can see us.
I can see you. I've been able to see you for a while.
They guard the estate. They protect the back corners where people aren't supposed to. You aren't supposed to be here.
Am I in any danger for being here?
You might be.
I might be. Who's going to?
There's guards everywhere. There's guards, not just the ones that you can see either.
And those, who are they? The ones in chains?
They guard, but they're also. You need to go. Go! They're gonna find you here.
I duck away immediately.
And as Amber Rose comes darting back into the hallway, what are the rest of you up to?
I think I give you a very stern look. I'm like, all right, y'all, focus up. We need to stay within sights of each other because this is enemy territory, all right? So focus up, all right?
Okay.
Safety in numbers, buddy system.
Oh yeah, I know what that is. Okay. Right now, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, right
Okay.
now.
Wait,
Our-
so who's buddy with?
Everyone is everyone's
'Cause-
buddy.
Just always have one buddy, all
Okay,
right?
okay.
Just one buddy.
One buddy.
Do the shadows count?
No.
No.
No. Okay, shadows don't count as buddies.
Sometimes.
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 Speak up a little bit.
No,
We're having
sometimes.
difficulty.
Sometimes.
In this case, no.
Okay.
Okay.
No
Okay.
shadows. Got it. Do fungi count
No.
as buddies? Okay. Okay.
Here, how about you grab on here?
What?
Grab on. Good job.
Okay.
And then I'll guide gently down.
I can wrangle if you want to keep an eye out.
Yeah, yeah. We have a glance.
Tackling. Buddy system to tackling.
Precious.
Scruff of the neck.
As the five of you are making your like mishmash way forward, you hear the click of boots behind you, and turn to look as Philomena Nebula comes striding up to join you all. And Faye looks around. Trouble?
Just good times.
I want to touch things and go in that green room.
That is generally ill-advised.
Oh.
I'm sorry. That is not a very good idea at this time.
Okay, why?
We are here as guests of the Baron, and we do not wish to give him a reason to turn us into his enemies.
Touching things makes enemies.
Rich people get very angry when you touch their things.
Oh. Okay. Got it.
So where to?
Right this way. And Philomena, Nebula, excuse me. Nebula.
No, I'll be low. You be Philomena. It's fine.
No,
I've
no.
been doing this dance for like 5 years now.
This is the part where you say now kiss, right?
If it were under different, we were in a different place. Yeah.
Circumstances. Okay.
We'll try again next time.
I mean,
Okay.
Phil. My friends call me Phil, and all of y'all are my friends.
I call
so.
her Mina.
Well, I mean.
Is Frida nearby?
Yes, Frida, you see, has shadowed up behind Philomena, and is much like Philomena. Phil is very on guard, watching things. And Cove, you actually have been around for some time. You know it's been a while since Nebula was able to draw her sword.
Mm.
That's not a well-known thing.
Yeah.
But you know that part of the reason why Frida is so watchful is because her commander-in-chief can't draw a sword right now.
Okay.
But she is there and keeping a close watch on everything. Right, let's stop dilly-dallying. Let's go. Come along.
All right.
Moving forward.
I like the long hallway.
You know, it feels like we've been walking
Opulence.
forever.
The rich have more space than they know what to do with. But you do, in time, reach the room that you have all been guided towards. This is a drawing room of sorts that is filled with purples and golds and brilliantly lit, as you can see. And again, the estates are also very, very green. You didn't catch much of a glimpse of it on the way in, but looking out the windows, you can see all the beautiful plant life out there. And we've lost Amanita. Milling about the rest of the room are some other faces that you tangentially recognize, mostly because they've been on manuscripts passed around of these are the enemy of the people. Those sorts of things. Like, you feel nothing so much, I think, as, like, Daniel hovering above the lion's den. This is a place where any number of these coalitions could come together and snap you up and eat you alive. But Nebula walks into the room, looks around like Faye owns the place, and then goes and casually leans against one of the walls, arms crossed, just watching everyone.
Who are some of, like, are there recognizable, like, fighty types in the room?
At the moment, there don't seem to be many fighty types in the room. There are mostly leaders of corporations and that sort of thing. So the Baron of Industry rules over all of the corporations. All of the CEOs answer to him. They are the lords of this island.
How is the seating arranged? Is there any seating?
There's a couple of seats in, like, the corners, but you get the impression that those are for, like, the old people. So generally, anyone who wants to take a load off has to do exactly what Nebula's doing and just lean up against a wall.
What is the body language? What are the vibes in the room? Is what I'm asking. Like, putting my feelings out there. Does it feel tense? Does it feel like, can I glean anything from? I'm trying to figure out, like, the normal. What is baseline? How are we all feeling?
I would say, let me look at something really quickly. I apologize. Because I am also still learning this.
No apologies needed.
I mean, it almost feels like figure out a person, but it's figure out a
Like a person.
Yeah, that's kind of what
vibe check.
it is. It's very much a vibe check. So if you want to go ahead and roll me a wit check.
Okay. Six.
All right, that is what's called a downbeat. So go ahead and mark experience.
Okay.
As you're looking around, you're not quite adept at things like personal space and bubbles and things like that. So I feel like, and tell me if I'm incorrect in this, that your way of trying to figure out someone is by like walking up to them and plucking at pieces of their clothing, perhaps?
Oh, I don't think I would touch.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't touch like sentient non-objects.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if like it's a thing that they're wearing, I would not touch
Yeah.
them. But I would maybe get a little close to them, like too close for comfort
Mm-hmm.
in their like personal bubble, but just like looking at them.
And one of the ones that you're staring at is someone who is dressed in very like fine dark blues with white piping, and he looks down at you. What do you want, child?
Oh, I'm not a child.
Someone collect this one.
I really like your coat.
Thank you.
I'll like wander away, looking at other people.
I'm gonna like catch Amanita's attention and be like, look at this vase of flowers.
What kind of flowers are those?
Gorgeous. But from the like reaction that you get from him toward you, you get the impression that people are on edge. Like they're not quite sure which way this is gonna go. And even the lords don't seem terribly sure of which way this is going to go.
Bariza, she scanned the room and she's looked for the most nervous person, like outwardly nervous. Is there anyone like that?
I think the most nervous person is a young secretary who is clearly a secretary carrying like a clipboard, walking behind one of the lords and just making quick notes, quick eyes, glancing up and around, very nervous.
How tall is the secretary?
The secretary's 5'2", maybe.
Okay, so Riza has locked in her target. She's like, oh, this is going to be fun because it doesn't look like there's much going on yet.
Yeah.
So she kind of wants to gather a little bit more intel. So despite Philomena's buddy system, she does a glance and as if she's like, and then she wanders over and she does her, because this person is a little shorter than her, she kind of pops her head over their head and goes, what you doing there?
Hi, hello, what are you?
You have really pretty handwriting.
Thanks. I've been working. Hi, yes, hello.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm
Hi.
terribly sorry, I can't really talk. I'm working.
Yeah, no worries. I'll just read if that's okay. Is it secret?
Kind of.
Oh, that's okay. Here, let me back up for a second. Hi, I'm Riza. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Cora. Nice to meet you.
You seem nervous.
I'm not really supposed to be in a place like this. It's kind of a lot.
Is it your first time?
Yeah.
First time being in a big place like this.
Well, first time being invited into this kind of a room.
What do you do?
I'm the under secretary, but everyone else was sick.
Under secretary. It seems like a big position, huh?
Not really. I usually just keep everyone's water filled.
But this is a big thing for you. How are you feeling?
Terrified.
Terrified?
Yeah.
Is it okay if I pat your shoulder? Would that help?
Sure.
And so she reaches over and gently gives a pat of reassurance. You're doing just fine, I swear. Everyone else here is just as nervous as you.
You think so?
I'm a little nervous too. A little.
You don't seem nervous.
Fake it till you make it. So, just out of curiosity, can you give me a little hint of what you're writing? Any observations you made? You must have a big brain for being a secretary.
Under secretary. Well, I mean, okay, look, anyone here of the lords, they would in a second just destroy each other if they could.
Is that so?
Oh yeah. So I'm keeping notes on all of the other lords so that my lord might have a bit of an advantage, when the time's right to...
And so Riza lowers her voice a little bit. She gets a bit closer. And by these lords getting together, is this a bicker or is this with fists?
It could go either way.
Are all these lords armed?
They carry daggers and stuff. I don't think they really know how to use them.
Interesting. As many do.
But their guards certainly do. And
Do you have anything on you?
Why?
Just curious how big a sword you've got on you.
That's one. Well done.
Well, if you're in any distress, I'll be sure to come save you first. I'll check on you later, okay? You take care. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Don't be shy.
Yeah,
Then
I'll
she
try.
goes back to the group with her notes in her brain. She's repeating it over and over. Okay, Lord's danger may be armed.
And the room is starting, there are light conversations happening in all of the corners. Amber Rose, you're seeing, there's not a lot of the unseen here. Mm-hmm. You get kind of the impression, just as a residual, that there usually are some that hang out in here, but there's a lot of people here.
Can I kind of look around the room, see if there are any sort of sigils or anything like that that would maybe tie a guard or something peculiar that isn't technically decor, but I know it's magical.
Interesting. I'm gonna say that if you want to,
I can start sniffing around, but it'd probably look pretty obvious.
if you want to roll me a wit check.
Okay. I got a 6.
Is your wit 0?
Yeah.
Okay. So looking around, you kind of trip over a couple of things as you're getting close to the windows, and knock over an urn that just goes all over the floor with a clatter. And everyone is looking at you. But as you're looking at the underside of this urn, you do see a sigil that looks like it might have at one time been the base for a binding for an unseen.
Well, accidents happen. I'm sure we got, I think Philomena will sort of adopt a more sort of hoity-toity vibe than you've seen from her probably ever. We can get some servants in here, right? I mean, accidents happen.
Oh, excellent. Give me a daring check.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's a daring.
I am supposed to be good at this, but I'm
That's
a
the-
historically bad ruler. Oh, 12.
Okay. Everyone was kind of frozen after that big clatter sound because everyone was, you get the impression, because you know battlefields, you understand this sort of thing. You get the impression that everyone is just a hand's breadth away from drawing a weapon.
Yeah.
Because that loud clatter scared the heck out of everyone.
Yeah.
But at you taking command and using your forcefulness, everyone kind of snaps out of it, and one of the lords kind of sticks his head out the door. Can we get some assistance in here? And a servant comes running and apologizes and starts picking things up.
May I pocket the sigil, the piece with the sigil on it?
Sure.
Okay.
It's about fist-sized.
Okay, I will pocket it.
And I'll kind of run interference and kind of physically block you so that nobody can stare at you too much.
I stare at people, not the other way around.
That's right.
Happens a lot. And as go ahead.
Oh, I would like to, while we're all waiting, do the walk around of the perimeter and find exit points and
You mean float around the perimeter?
float around the perimeter. Glide around.
People definitely give you a wide berth because they see how you're floating about 3 inches off the ground at all times. There are a lot of exit points in here. Every one of the windows opens out into, you see now, the garden and the wide hedges out there.
Are they
paths.
currently open?
They are not, but glancing at them, you don't need to make a roll for this. It's a very simple hook.
Great.
because there are layers of security before you get to these windows. And if you get through all of those, you kind of deserve whatever you get.
Random question out of curiosity. Because we're in this big room and there's a lot of people, is there any like food to like potentially nibble? Or any snacks? We
Okay.
got snacks here.
Yeah.
Charcuterie like.
Right?
Charcuterie.
Looking around, you do see that there's a little table tucked off in the corner with like a punch bowl and little crystal glasses and a little charcuterie spread. It's not very big, certainly not enough for all of these people, but enough for people to nibble on a little bit.
Does it, when I look over at the table, does it look like anyone's taken anything, or does it look, or how does it look?
It looks a little bit like a couple people might have taken a couple drinks, but people are nervous. So trusting food might not be a thing right at the moment.
Can I use Wild Friends and try to speak to these flowers?
Absolutely.
I want to do it a little covertly because I know I've learned that it's weird that I talk to plants.
Okay.
So I want to just kind of out of the corner of my mouth go, hey, hello.
Do you need to make a roll for that?
Mm-mm.
Mm.
You can speak with animals and plants and may influence them with strings just like other NPCs.
Excellent. There's kind of like a little bit of a whisper for a second that you're able to like imagine tuning like a radio dial.
Yeah.
And you're tuning to the right frequency mentally to catch this because these are flowers. You look carefully. They're in dirt, but they're surrounded by the vase to make it look like they're, plucked flowers. But they are alive. Hello.
Hi.
Who are you?
I'm Amanita Rubensis. What's your name?
I don't have a name.
Oh,
I'm just here.
Okay. That's good. Sometimes things don't need names.
It's true. I've done just fine without them, and it seems like things with names get really sad.
Yeah, that's very true. I had a question for you.
Okay.
What's this room like? Like, what happens in this room? It's really big. I've never seen a room this big before. Like, do a lot of people come in this room?
Not a lot of people. Sometimes the Baron's daughter comes in here and she dances with a sword.
Oh. Wow. Okay, that's really cool.
It's really pretty. She's not very good,
Oh.
but she's pretty. She tries.
I'm also not very good, but I try to. Okay. Do you know her name?
No, she never says it.
Humans like names.
Humans like names.
Okay.
But she never says her name. Her sword's name is Milady, though. She calls it that all the time.
Milady. Okay, I'll write that down. Milady. Okay. Thank you, friend.
You're welcome, Amanita.
Have a great day.
You too.
I'll give it like a little pet.
And it kind of like purrs under your hand, a little bit like a cat.
I'm gonna take a little bit of the soil and test it and make sure it's good.
Oh, this is the best soil you have ever encountered.
Oh, you're a very lucky flower.
I know. It's nice. I get all the light I want and the soil. And you can almost like hear like
there
the flower kind of making biscuits inside of its pot.
Oh my god, I love this flower so much.
I'm probably gonna steal this flower. It's fine.
They tell you to come up with cute NPCs. They don't tell you it's gonna be plants.
Well, you seem well taken care of. And that's good. Okay. I should probably go do the human things now.
Good luck. Everyone's very swishy and angry.
They are. That's what it is. Okay. Angry. Swishy.
But I think they're angry because they're scared. You can kind of smell it.
Can?
Uh-huh.
Do I smell anything?
Inhaling deeply like that and actually like paying attention to all of the everything of human around you, there is a little bit of like that acrid. You know how when you're around someone who's sweating because they're scared?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of that acrid taste in the air.
I think I smell it now. See, I learn something new every time I talk to you guys.
It's so good to talk to you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I'll leave you alone. You have fun.
You too. Oh, I love it. It is getting toward the time that the Baron was going to meet with everyone, and you're looking around, and you're kind of like, this doesn't feel like it should be everyone, you know? And as you're all paying attention to various degrees, you hear boots in the hall. And there seems to be a small group of people who are approaching. And in the door walks a group of women, which is striking in this group because most of the lords and their bodyguards are men. There's only a few secretaries and undersecretaries and undersecretaries who are female, but this is a group of women walking in, and Philomena, you recognize the woman in the lead instantly. This is Maystrike, the leader of the Needle Hall Hawks.
Well, I think I'm going to use a move.
Let's hear it.
Wicked Past. When you hear about a villain for the first time, you may decide that you know them from your past. Definitely know her. If so, give them a string on you to ask a question from the Figure Out a Person list and take +1 forward against them.
All right. Go ahead and give me one of your...
Oh yes, let me get you a flower.
Oh yes, I
Gonna
get one of the
show off
flowers. I'm
My
delighted.
pouch.
It's so sparkly.
I'm going to give you a big one because this is a big string.
Mm-hmm.
Nice catch.
Thank you.
Very, very good.
Just add that to my little bouquet here.
Okay, let me look at my Figure Out a Person. Okay, what do you hope to get from this encounter, this meetup?
So as Ms. Strike enters the room and surveys it, her eyes pass over you for a second, pause, and then come back to you and you can feel the weight of her gaze on you. One of her eyebrows very slowly goes up. And then she kind of half smirks and saunters over to you. Everyone else watching, this woman moves like a shark. She's tall, she's slender, she is dressed in the most immaculate pantsuit, wielding and carrying a cane with a silver top. And those of you who are better with swords, Riza for example, when she taps it on the ground, you can hear that telltale rattle of a sword cane. And she strolls over to Philomena. Well, my dear, I did not expect to see you here.
I can't say that I feel the same way. I was very much expecting to see you, May. You look well.
As do you. That healed up rather nicely, didn't it? And she runs her finger along the edge of the scar.
Yeah, no thanks to you. So, how you feeling about today's gathering? Gotta be exciting. This big shakeup. All these scary lords around. Kind of say scary with a sort of sarcastic.
She smirks. Yes. Ah, that rapier wit, Phil. I've missed that. Well, in any shake-up, as you say, there are opportunities. And the hawks always seek to soar.
I'm sure you will.
We usually do. So, which group are you here part of?
Well, I'll sort of...
No. You didn't fall under Nebula's control, did you?
Well, she is my namesake.
I suppose it was somewhat inevitable, was it not?
She's got a certain charisma about her. Strength, integrity.
All things that you are drawn to, little bird.
You can just see, like, Philomena trying so hard to, like, keep her composure.
Are you well, dear? You seem heated.
It's an exciting time.
Mm.
I hope that you will be flexible in your leanings. As you say, shakeups are a time for all of us to reassess. I know you're going to do what's in your best interest.
Oh, always. Just like everyone else in this room.
Well, I hope you can tell that the wind's blowing in a new direction.
Mayhaps. But the smart captain always has another sail to tack into the wind.
Fair enough. Well, I don't want to keep you, May.
Your grace grows every day, my dear. Bows her head a little bit. And then saunters back over to the rest of the hawks, who are all watching you. Like...
Can Riza step in and can I use recovery moves? Because there's one that's called emotional support. I don't know if I'm allowed to use that.
You can. There isn't any conditions to be cleared as of yet, but if you want to offer Philomena emotional support, you are certainly welcome to do that.
So Riza, in her way, flounces over, hips always shaking. And she goes over and she nudges her Philomena real hard. And she's like, hey, how's it going? Looking kind of stiff here. Well, a little stiffer than usual, but...
It's an old,
That one? And then she points straight to the needle hawk because as they're staring at them, she winks at them too.
There's a little bit of like whisper passes through the group, a little bit like the bit from Music Man, Pick a Little, Talk a Little. That little like cheep, 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 cheep among all the hawks.
I guess I haven't, divulged all of my past discrepancies, but
Don't have to. We're here for you now, whatever that means.
that was my old gang. And she may help me out when I was in a vulnerable place, but I think she was always looking after her own interests more than she was ever looking after mine. But I'm always gonna feel that pull,
No, I get you. It's kind of like an old family, right? Big old family reunion. It'll be okay. Besides, you're bigger and stronger anyway. Do you see these guns on you? I don't see those guns on her.
You would be surprised what she can do with what she's got.
I'll check it out later then. Just kidding. Just kidding. Maybe.
Philomena's more stressed than
Riza, go ahead and roll either heart or spirit, whichever you choose for that emotional support recovery move.
I'm gonna do a spirit. 4.
Did you roll 2d6?
You get to roll another one.
I was like, I only heard one.
Yeah, let's do the math.
Okay. 11.
Wow. Okay.
Right, that's +1. Or no?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. Philomena, I will ask you, was that a way of reaching out to you in a way that was meaningful to you?
So it definitely was. I think that there is like 2 layers of that conversation, which is like actually like it was really sweet of Riza to like reach out to me, but also like there's this residual guilt that Philomena feels about her past in relation to your family, and you specifically brought up your family. So I think it was, I think, very touching and instills like this, like, I need to protect my people in this situation. Like, they mean everything. And it like, I think it strengthens her position in the group. She's like, I'm not feeling like, you know, reneging on any deals or anything. But there is like this, like, it's weighted, you know.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, so both of you can choose one of these things, or let's see. Philomena, you choose one from this list. Riza, you either choose one from this list or take a string on Philomena. Okay? So the list is, you can clear a condition. You don't have any conditions at the moment. You can mark XP. You can gain 1 forward. Or you can gain insight from the GM about an obstacle facing one of you.
Sorry, what's a forward?
1 forward is you can add a +1 to which would you use? Heart or wit?
Spirit.
Sorry, spirit or wit.
Spirit.
I can words. I'm still learning what all the stats are myself. So you can take a +1 for you can add a +1 to your next spirit roll.
And then do we each choose one?
Yes, you each choose one, or you can take a. Let me double check that. Yes, you choose one, or you take a string on Philomena.
And take a string means I give a string or I take a string?
You get a string from her.
Oh.
So you got 2 from me already, so you would get 3.
Okay. I'm gonna go with an experience point.
Go ahead and mark that.
I like to gain insight about an obstacle facing Riza. So I want to know if that interaction, like her coming to me, did that make her a target in any way? Or is anybody like eyeing her like as if to like, you know, as a target?
As you're looking up and around the room, you're looking at each of the different groups and the various conversations that are happening. Most people are now paying more attention to their conversation. There was definitely people watching that interaction between you and Ms. Strike.
Right.
But as you look over, you catch May Strike's eye as she looks at you and then very deliberately looks at Riza and then back at you with a raised eyebrow. And you can gain from that yes, at least one of the other Violettes has caught this one's attention.
All right. I just kind of square up next to you.
And then Riza, in turn, does a little bit more of her hip out, a little bit like this. You know, just checking out. Seems like they're posing now, so she's joining in the big energy. I don't know if I'm allowed. It was PG-13, right? So can I say
BDE.
BDE? Yes.
Also, yes, you can say. All right. Before we go any further, we do have some inspiration that came in. 500 bits from Joseph the Newman for Cove.
Ooh.
Wow. As I yeet that into your lap. Sorry.
Be not afraid.
Friends. Thank you very much.
If I could like incorporate it slowly.
Ooh.
Just like work it into the hair.
I love it.
Nice.
I'll workshop it.
So as things are kind of settling a little, it's past time when the Baron was supposed to be here. Now, of course, he is the ruler of this island, of Little Frisia, of everything around you. He can do whatever the frick he wants. But this is starting to feel weird. And not just to you all. You're noticing more and more these little glances between the lords of industry as there's like glances tossed at the door, waiting. And you can feel the sense of anticipation, concern, fear even, rising within the room. But it's kept under control because, I mean, they're all professionals, especially in the area of fear.
Out of curiosity, since Riza's standing with Philomena, where are the three of
I
you in
was
the
about
room?
to say, I would like to triangulate myself between Nebula and then probably some of our strays. They're not in the pose.
Amber Rose,
Amanita
would probably be standing with Amber Rose, kind
Right,
of like
because we got corralled.
whispering about our experiences, and also like, isn't the Baron supposed to be here by now? This is kind of weird, right?
I think I start maybe like glancing around at those shadows that you said. Like there weren't very many of them, but they were still there. Do they seem friendly or
They seem kind of standoffish.
standoffish?
Yeah, more than
Okay.
anything else.
Maybe I don't want to talk to them. So I'm gonna lean into one of my companions and just glance around whoever's the most available to talk right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I have this feature called Friends in Weird Places. I think I'm gonna call on the one that I believe is my brother because he's always the most receptive to talk to me.
What is it now?
There's a lot of people around and I don't really know what to do. It seems like everybody's very stressed. I'm picking up on a lot of stress everywhere. Do you think you could maybe... You can go around undetected, right? Can you figure out what's going on or give me a little bit more information?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go have a look. I'll have a chat.
Okay.
And that shadow peels away from you and disappears down one of the halls.
Right. So I lean over to Amanita and I'm like, I had one of my people sort of peruse the halls for more information. There's also, and I start flipping open my book. I'm showing Amanita. Amanita probably doesn't understand sigils or anything like that, but I saw this on the back of an urn and it feels concerning.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but I trust you.
Uh-huh.
You know a lot about this stuff.
Okay.
You got this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
BB witches. And there's the whispers are starting to get a little bit louder in the room as people are talking with each other, and
Who looks the twitchiest?
probably the twitchiest is the Lord of Industry that Amanita approached with the blue jacket and the white piping, definitely like tapping a heel against the ground, kind of like until one person, another lord, leans over and snaps at him to cut it out. That noise is really annoying.
Keeping an eye on that corner.
Mm-hmm. And then the shadow comes rushing back in straight to you, Amber Rose. Incoming! Lots of incoming.
Incoming what?
People. They're very angry.
Angry people coming?
Angry people? Why are they angry?
I don't know.
Okay, angry people.
And then moments later, all the rest of you can hear these like stomping boots coming in this direction. It's
Angry people. Angry people
There's
are
a lot of
coming.
people coming.
It sounds like a squad, frankly.
I immediately look at, I get eyes on everybody. And then I also instinctively will look at May and see if she looks surprised.
She looks actually quite concerned. Like,
Okay.
no one else would really be able to read that on her face, but you do see that the corners of her mouth are set a little harder than you might have expected, and she has one eyebrow slightly up as she looks at the door. She's also heard the boots coming.
Right, yeah. I wanted to know if she was kind of in on this. Look alive. Focus up. And I will gather all of our duckies.
Nebula and Frida are also coming, like, they're closing ranks. Like, everyone knows that something's going on, but no one quite knows what. And then the Baron's guard comes into the room, and they are flashy, purple and gold. They match the room very nicely. If you stood them up in the corner, you could probably use them as mannequins, but they are not to be taken lightly. Several of them in the back are carrying halberds. Others are wearing swords, and everyone looks pissed. The captain at the front looks about and then locks eyes with Nebula before scanning the rest of the room. The Baron is missing.
Oh no.
As is his family. And he just scans the room, and as everyone's just looking, like this is starting to feel like a growing tsunami of fear that could turn into anger in a heartbeat.
Do they seem sincere?
Go ahead and roll me figure out a person. That is wit.
You're not a person.
Wit beyond measure.
6.
Go ahead and mark that experience. I mean, as far as you can tell, they seem sincere. They certainly seem angry. And one of them points his sword at Nebula and says, "And it appears the Violettes have been here already.
We were invited by the Baron.
And now he is missing. Don't you find that peculiar?"
Everyone else here was invited, and the Baron is missing.
Why don't you...
Arrest them! And the guards start closing in on the Nebula corner. What would you all on the Violette's corner? What would you all like to do?
Shuffle Nebula to the back.
Yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna join in the protection of I guess we're making a little protection ring.
Yeah,
Oh no, handcuffs on me first. As she tried to distract.
That does seem to surprise the people in the front for just a second.
I feel like that's a daring roll.
Yeah, you're correct. Let's go ahead and do
or entice.
Actually, no, that's an entice. Go ahead and roll me hard.
I feel like that's gonna be a go-to. You have a negative one.
You can do it. We have so many bits.
You can add an extra D6 if
Oh,
you
if
would
you wanna
like,
use
because
one of
you
our-
have like a million bits.
Can I please? Is
Yes!
that okay?
Yes! Absolutely.
Okay.
Use the bits.
Use the bits. So I can roll
Thank
2
you.
now.
3.
You were three.
Oh, so these call. Okay. Okay, math.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh.
It's a 6.
Oh
Beautiful.
Thank you, Bits.
Thank you to our wonderful viewers.
But we learned and we get
Yeah,
stronger,
you
right?
learn from your mistakes.
Exactly. And when you hit 5 XP, you get your playbook gains extra stuff.
Wow.
So, it helps to trip over your feet now and again, which is exactly what you do as you're leaning forward. Your hip is kind of stuck in that pop position. And your back foot trips over your front foot and you fall on your face. You're barely able to catch yourself on your hands, but you're definitely a little bit less mobile at the moment, shall we say.
Well, you got me on the ground faster than I thought I could.
How did you make that? Anyway.
You have to ask.
I shouldn't have to at this point, but yeah, I mean, I'm full bodyguard mode. I'm in front of Nebula. I've got my fountain pen in my hand. And I say, under what grounds are you arresting this woman? We have all, or this person, we have all been present in front of all of the individuals here. Anyone can vouch for us.
Oh no, all of you are under arrest.
Oh. Well, but what about the lords, huh? Aren't they suspicious?
Nebula kind of leans forward and is like, "Cove, a window."
Oh yeah. Right. Cole just eye locks the head guard,
Uh-huh.
like just elbows back into a window and smashes it. We're not looking for the lock or anything. Yeah, covers the exit.
Wonderful. The window is open. What would the rest of you like to do? Nebula is definitely like you. I think Cove might be the only one. Cove and Philomena might be the only ones who really notice. Faye is reaching for Fair chest and then like pulling their Fair hand away for a moment, just like go.
While this whole like showdown is happening, I'm starting to whisper towards the other shadows to see if they would come and aid or help or just do something. A distraction.
Wonderful. Do you have any playbook moves that you would like to use?
Let's see. It's just friends in weird places. Yeah, you call for them for help and the GM tells you what they provide. Give them a string on you and mark the favor next to their name. Whenever significant time passes, one of your friends with the marked favor will need help from you. Okay, so I think I'm gonna throw it to the one that likes me the least because that one's probably the most resourceful right now.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. So you go ahead and mark a string on that one. As this shadow with sort of a feminine-ish cast to them kind of appears from your shadows behind you and looks around. I have to do everything around here, don't I? And then goes diving at the legs of the guard, starting to like wind around them. Mm-hmm. And to you, it looks like smoke rising up around their legs, but they start tripping. Mm-hmm. Not like full on falling over, but there's enough resistance against their legs to slow them down.
Gotcha. Okay, bought us time. Let's go.
Yeah.
Leaping out into the garden, I want to go to the nearest shrub and say, "Hey, when's the last time you saw the Baron?"
I don't know. He doesn't come out to the gardens, really.
What?
I know. What? He spends all this time growing all the green things and doesn't come out here.
Okay, this is useless.
I'm sorry.
No, not you. The Baron is useless. Oh. Okay, guys, are we going now?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm still doing back of the pack. I think at this point, which wouldn't be visible to everyone, but Philomena would have drawn her big broadsword. So pulls it out of her chest, which looks kind of painful, and is like, just like, holding up the rear, but like being like, move.
And then Riza's gonna join after Amanita. Of course, she has to say something about them tripping on the ground. Oh, and now you kiss the ground I walk on. And then she goes on and follows after.
I also want to keep an eye out for anybody coming toward us and sort of identify the clearest path. Talk to some of the shrubs and bushes and plants and ask, like, what's the quickest way out of here? Is there a safe place to hide?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you start hearing, like, in your metaphorical senses, you can feel like the prickles of their awareness of you reaching out to you. It's like a warm, friendly vine wrapped around your arm. And you start to feel this pull in a direction as the whispers in your ear are, over here, friend, over here.
Okay, this way, guys. I'll start and make sure like that folks are following me and keep an eye on I guess a feel on the plants.
Yeah, and you can hear with your senses reached out like this, you can feel it as booted feet start to crash through some of these brushes. They're not being careful as they're running after you.
Loud, so loud. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, there's a lot of shouting from behind you. There's other breaking glass, shouting at people. Like, you can feel the palpable anger from the room behind you as you are running through the gardens.
And Riza like yells over, because I think you've probably gotten some distance, because Riza's getting ready in case she needs to get her sword out. But she's like, "Hey, you okay over there?"
Just loud, go, let's go loud.
And then she goes over and, like, of course, from her tit, she pulls out like a green scarf and tosses it onto her head. Or onto their head, as a way to like maybe protect from a little bit of the sound waves. Just a little bit.
Loud on the inside, but thank you. Okay, can we go now?
I want to see. Are there like stone benches or anything out here?
Sure,
that we
yeah.
can, like start just chucking at people.
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
pass several bowers on your way out, and you're able to pick up and just yeet one of these suckers
Right.
at the lead guard who is pursuing you. He doesn't hit them and like hurt them, but it breaks in front of them and makes them trip all over their feet.
You see that Philomena can't help but like notice.
Yeah.
Scary angel lady.
That was hot.
I think Cove should roll to entice.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Okay.
accidentally entice?
Yes, that you don't have to mean to in order to entice. So that is a roll plus heart.
Roll plus heart. Woof.
Deciding which of your dice aren't going to betray you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna try the same too, and we'll see. But I have a -1, so.
Ooh, big rolls.
8 minus 1 is 7.
Okay.
Nice.
So 7 to 9, gain a string on them unless they decide they want, unless they decide instead to choose one. So Philomena, you can choose get flustered and awkward, promise something they think you want, or given to desire.
Oh. So juicy.
Juicy.
I mean, I think I think it's get flustered and awkward for sure.
All right.
Oh, well.
I love this. So great.
Just a lot of grunting. No.
Okay.
Eat another bench.
No.
I'm not hurt.
not here.
Just my heart.
Philomena's voice gets lower as she gets more out.
Philomena low.
Well,
She go low, low, low.
that was a lot.
All right, but the five of you, along with Philomena Nebula and Frida Galaxy, are running, getting out of there, and shockingly, Amanita's the one who's in the lead because they're the ones who are they're the one who is like leading the way according to what the plants are saying, and you find the paths that cause the least damage. You're able to slide between the shrubbery, and those of you who know, you can see the shrubs kind of parting a little bit to let the seven of you through before closing up.
I think it's or.
It is.
It is or.
Oh, never mind. Give it back.
You don't get a flower yet.
Not yet. I have one.
But you are able to make your way toward the long driveway. This is probably the most exposed that you have been in this entire area. As you are running down the long driveway out of the garden and down toward the gate, where if you can get through it, this is the path to freedom and to get the heck out of here.
Is the gate open?
It's closing.
I'm going to throw a bunch at the gate.
Oh my god.
Just pick up the car and throw the car at the
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Car at gate.
Oh my god, explosions.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to ask for a daring roll on that one.
I'm going to use a bit.
Okay.
Just in
Use
case.
a bit.
Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah.
And good catches again.
Thank you. The screen is taller than I'm used to, so I'm getting used to it. I love it.
Okay.
How do we do?
10.
Excellent. So that is an upbeat. You succeed with panache, in fact. So you like get one hand under the running board of the car and the other on the hood and just yeet that sucker through the gate. The gate tries to close on it, goes
Over the car.
There's like, Riza makes a small mumble to like Philomena, me next.
You can say that again.
Cove, go ahead and roll entice on Risa.
Pardon me, like you
-1 to
parted
heart.
those gates.
That is a 2.
Yes! Lowest roll yet.
My legs are closed.
Go ahead and mark experience on that.
Oh
Don't
my
know
god.
what to do.
Ah, I love it. Absolutely love it. And as you all are running toward the gate, the guards are all shouting. Like there's just so much noise going on, especially with the like high-pitched metallic sounds of the gate trying to close on the car, and it's grinding and it's just not quite working. I would like everyone to roll me Grace. As your Grace or Daring, whichever one you prefer, to get yourself over the car and through the gate. Now, whether that means you go through the car, I'll start over at Amber Rose.
8.
Okay. Cove.
4.
Oh no.
Philomena.
I also got an 8.
All right. Riza.
14.
Jesus.
Oh wait,
Yes.
did you?
Right,
Are
it's
you
2.
using a bit?
No, wait, it's 2 plus 1, right? Or do we start with...
So 11 plus 1 would be.
Oh, sorry, 12.
12 is also excellent.
That's also good. That's also good.
Uh,
Amanita.
6.
Okay, so the 4 and the 6, go ahead and both mark experience for me, please.
So much experience.
I think Amanita is very overwhelmed by all of the screeching and clanking and boots and loud sounds, and is just sort of like now like covering her ears, like looking around, not quite knowing what to do with this car that's squished.
I'm going to say that you actually take a condition at this point.
Okay.
Because you are getting this assail on your senses. I'll let you choose which one feels the most correct. We have angry, frightened, guilty, hopeless, or insecure.
I think this is hard. I'm gonna put it to the group. I'm thinking either frightened or hopeless.
Mm.
What do you guys think?
I mean, do you think you're more scared or like you are like running out of options?
I feel like this is similar to when you're when I'm in the middle of like a sensory overload or a panic attack, and you feel like it's never gonna end.
I think that's fear.
Yeah, frightened.
Okay, I'll take frightened.
All right. But because the group overall, you're all able to help each other because
Yeah, I think I'm like bodying
yeah.
people over.
And Reese is able to like reach down and grab a hand and help lift them up and over. So between the 7 of you, even with all of the crashing sounds and the horribleness going on around you, you are able to get out. And before we go much further, we have 500 bits from Danger Mermax and Duke Fleeg to the players.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Bits.
Thank you all so much for assisting our lovely players. All right, so with the great deal of noise fading behind you, you make your way out onto the streets that will eventually lead you down into the city itself of Little Frisia. It's still a bit of a haul, but Amanita, the nature around you that is in this area starts to pull and cover for all of you, muffling the sounds coming from behind you, calming as much as they can before the green nature starts to run out.
So more familiar sounds and less alien green things.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
And there is a familiarity, as you say, to that. Although, of course, the green is exotic and beautiful. This is more home.
I think once over the car and out into familiar space, if I recognize where we're going, I'll lead us back to home base.
Yeah. And
Is home base known?
Yeah.
I mean, I might even direct that towards Nebula.
Make it roundabout.
Yeah.
Don't go directly there.
Should we split up?
Buddies.
Buddies?
If we split up, buddy system.
Okay.
There's 7 of us.
There's 7.
3 and 4?
All right.
I can take a group back to the junkyard.
Going to the junkyard.
Okay.
I can go with them.
All right.
Two want to go with.
Okay. I guess I'm with you.
Okay.
You're with me. Nebula. Frida, I'll leave it up to you.
I think we need to regroup back at the club. All of us.
When it's safe.
As soon as possible. We won't have much time. The Baron is gone. And they think we did it.
That's not good. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Great. Rendezvous back in half an hour, 45.
Half an hour.
Great.
Take the back ways, take the alleys. You all know how
How
to.
do kids feel about sewers?
Oh, I love them. There's some good slime molds down there.
Reese is just like, what god did I offend?
I even wore my prettiest dress.
Oh, it'll be prettier now. There's some bioluminescent fungi down there too.
Oh, great.
All right. So the group splits up in 2 directions, one to go through the sewers and another to go through alleys and over rooftops, just to split the divide as much as possible. And that is where we're going to take a break. As the Les Violettes Dangereuses is on the run, suspected of having stolen away the Baron and his family.
There were other
Parts
people
unknown.
in the room.
What I was saying. What is their evidence?
You're poor. I mean, really, it's just those 2 words.
Right.
Right.
They don't speak broke.
Wow.
And we are going to be doing a giveaway for $25 of PDF materials from Evil Hat. We're going to have more information for that after the break, so stick around, friends. Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to Thirsty Sword Lesbians, which I say with entirely too much relish. Welcome back. We are in we are going to the second part of the first episode. The episode title is Milady, and there may have been a reason for that. But before we get into any of that, we are doing a giveaway tonight for $25 of Evil Hat electronic products PDFs. In order to enter the giveaway, please enter #thirsty into the chat. Only do it once or you will be disqualified. We'll do the drawing in a few moments, so #thirsty into the chat. And then I will count on my wonderful control room to let me know when it's time to do the drawing so I can do a last call. All right, so to briefly recap, Les Violettes Dangereuses was invited up to the Baron's Manor. There were some discussions that were happening around the building, trying to figure out what exactly was going on. Someone ran into an old flame. Many conversations with shadows and plans were had, and mom friended.
That's my whole life.
And threw some furniture quite well.
And yeeted some furniture when
I said myself.
Mom friend.
I mean, I do
what mom friends
I
do.
do hear about moms, yanking cars off of children. So,
There's science behind that. Not today. Not right now. Maybe the after.
we'll get into the science later.
Science.
But for now, they managed to make their way out of the manor after it was discovered that the Baron and his family had been stolen away to parts unknown. And the guards decided that it was, the poor people in the room. Partially because Les Violettes Dangereuses had the most to gain, in a manner of speaking, from the Baron going missing, but also just because everyone was waiting for something like this to happen, let's be realistic. So, using the plants as a way to find their way out of the gardens and off of the estate, our beautiful, dangerous violets went running down the driveway, out the gate, after Cove threw a car into the closing gate.
Mom friend.
I need a button.
You do need a button. What would the button say? Mom friend,
Mom friend.
or yeeted a car?
Mom friend. Subtitle.
You did it.
Yeah, it's actually it's like double-sided somehow. So
Or like it's one of those
Mom friend,
lenticular
you did a
stickers
car.
where like depending on the light, it's like
that's like holographic. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's the real way to do it, isn't it?
Find it at our store on Quest and Get. No.
Not there.
Not there.
It's not there. The deck of inspiration is there.
Ooh.
You get.
And you could pretend that it said that.
Yeah.
You can totally pretend it says anything that you want. But as they made their escape, they decided for the 7 of them, because Philomena, Nebula, and I lost her first name, Galaxy. Frida, thank you. Frida Galaxy were with the group, and they scattered in 2 different directions. One group went down to the junkyard, and another by way of the rooftops or the sewers. The sewers.
We went by the sewers.
And then the other group went over rooftops and down alleyways in order to evade detection. Using their various ways and means, I'm going to hand wave a bit because there were some backgrounds that I didn't think to pull. So here we are. They are able to lose any pursuers that they may have had, mostly because once they're down here, the guards are not good at picking out these weirdos from the rest of the weirdos.
The poor people from the poor people.
All poor people look alike. I don't know what anyone has to do to be distinct around here. Damn. I don't know where that voice came
It was
from.
beautiful.
I'll find somewhere.
We're going to find a way to adopt them.
Yeah, find somewhere else to use it. It's wonderful. But each by your various methods, you make your way back to the Sugar Bowl, which is your base of operations. This is, Cove especially knows, but all of you have heard the story of how Philomena Nebula drew Fair Sword out of Femme Chest as Faye was singing these rich, dark blues. And then they were attacked. So, this is where all that went down. But they were able to secure this location. This is their spot now. There are layers and layers and layers of the subtle security that you get in the darker alleys and the back, the more seedy areas. The places where people actually watch out for each other now and again. Mm-hmm. And you all make your way into the club, where you're able to finally catch your breath and relax a moment.
Head count.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, mom friend.
And everyone has made it back here safely. It definitely...
How's your outfit looking after the sewer run?
I don't want to talk about it.
You're looking more bioluminescent than usual.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
I mean, you're usually luminescent, and you are biological, so technically, you are bioluminescent.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Damn.
Amanita is blushing really hard.
Stank on that side eye.
Bombastic side eye. I take it because
do you feel that she should roll an entice?
Or should you roll an entice for being so...
I'm gonna roll an entice.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it.
6.
Go ahead and mark that XP.
I'm gonna get a new playbook thing soon.
You might get one by the end of this session, and I'm here for that.
Keep on failing.
It's the way as Delta Green actually says, we learn from our failures.
I think Risa, her reaction is very much like, oh, it's really cute. And she can see that she's trying. So for that, she's proud.
Excellent.
And slightly enticed. Like, oh, okay. I am quite luminescent, yes.
Adorable.
Can I come over with like a handkerchief and start just wiping your face down? Because that's what I used to do with my brother.
Can't imagine who you're referencing.
Like you can see, like usually she has, like Risa usually has kind of like her kind of like sultry look on, and then as Amber Rose comes in, it just turns into puppy eyes, like.
Oh,
That's adorable.
You just start wiping your face, and it's like, this is really.
And then she's like getting closer.
Cute.
Like, oh, I think it's over here too.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Just like patting it down.
just oblivious. Whoosh. I'm sorry. Did something catch your eye?
We're like both looking at you, and like my
right.
hand is.
Look, yes, always, but the's more
Right
important. Yes, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
We've been over it.
Should go over it again.
We're currently
need another
wanted.
pat?
Oh,
Okay.
yes, over here.
Okay. We're currently wanted for kidnapping the Baron.
Right.
and it is a bit like a bucket of ice cold water in the face.
I would like to find Amanita and just... You did very good. You did very well.
Okay, that's good.
You should be proud of what you did today, getting us out.
Oh. Okay.
Great.
You float away.
Are you offering emotional support?
I am. In Cove's backwards way.
All right. Where is it? There it is.
I found it.
Yeah. Choose heart or spirit.
Spirit, because I have two. I'm not rolling with these two. I'm rolling with these two.
I don't know how you can tell them apart.
I have them in order.
Oh. Of course you
Order
do.
of popularity.
Sure. 9.
Excellent.
I would like to possibly clear a condition, but oh no, you choose. You choose. Never mind.
I think that Amanita is not quite able to receive that because they're like they're still feeling that like overstimulate. They're still around people. Right. They're still like in danger. So I feel like she's still kind of in this weird state. But I will say that like that did help a little bit, that moment of connection. So I guess I'd like to gain insight about the obstacle facing, I guess it says one of you. Do you think that means like one of us or one of us?
Let me look at the wording. I get this sense that it's between the two people who are involved in the move.
Okay. Then I'd like insight on an obstacle facing me.
Okay. I think the greatest obstacle facing you right now is that there's this big problem. The Baron is missing, and this is a world that you don't really know anything about. This is so out of your ken that you can't find the network to link into, to understand it, I think is the way to phrase it. And I think with the frightened condition, it's a little bit like a bird beating its wings on the inside of a cage. Just like, this is so big and so scary, and what do we do? So right now, the biggest issue facing you is this world that I wanted to know more about is big and scary. And maybe that leads to a question of, is it better to go back? But I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Toss a blanket at you.
Just yeet.
We got some weighted blankets.
Sorry, microphone. I will toss a blanket.
our microphone friends. So the club is a little bit deserted this time of day because it's late morning, early afternoon. The bartender behind the bar, Joe, is sipping a drink and watching all y'all not go as bad as it looks.
Worse.
Sets down 7 glasses. Right, pick your poison.
I'm taking the pink one.
Mixes one up for you.
Whiskey on the rocks, Joe.
I thought as much. He's already made one up for you and slides it across the bar.
That one today.
All right, let's see if this one does anything for you.
All right.
Pours you a double shot, slides it across the counter.
Do we happen to have any coffee? Black.
Oh, yes, always. Gets a mug big enough that you have to wrap both of your hands around it and just keeps pouring. Black is your soul, right?
Yeah.
So I'll go grab the milk. No, never mind.
Thank you for the bucket.
Just like, don't throw it in your face this time. Maybe.
That was a one-time thing. 2-time, 3-time thing.
Do you have any... Actually, can I just have some hot water?
Sure, of course.
Take some stuff out of my pockets, make a little concoction with some calming herbs and make myself some tea.
Kind of leans over. May I smell?
Sure.
Leans over and, I'll have to talk to you later about that. My sister's got that anxiety thing.
Oh, yeah.
I think that smells, I can feel relaxing a little bit.
I have some valerian root if she wants to try it. It's good.
If that might help, yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, here.
And he takes it, wraps it up very carefully, and slips it into a side pocket. For all of his somewhat more jaded bartender TM. You can tell he loves his sister.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Nebula also takes a whiskey straight and just shoots it, and then just like leans back. Well, that went worse than I expected. I didn't think that could happen.
I could be wrong, but the way I'm looking at this, the Baron was leaning towards bending in a different direction, in our direction. And then all of a sudden, when he was about to bend, he goes missing. And lo and behold, who's taking the blame? Us. It feels a little too convenient for some and less convenient for others. You know what I'm saying? Do we know anything about him or his going-ons that we might be able to string some of this mystery together?
His daughter liked swords.
That's fascinating. How could you elaborate?
Yeah.
Please do so.
Oh, okay. The flowers told me. She's not very good with swords, but she has a sword, and she calls it Milady. And she practices in the room we were in. But I didn't ask how recently, and the shrubs didn't know where the Baron was or when he was last there because, okay. You know that thing when you were teaching me and that thing that I felt, the anger? Wow. Oh boy. He doesn't go in the garden. Can you believe that? He doesn't go in the garden. It's so green. And he doesn't go there.
You know, there's a lot of people who don't appreciate what they have.
Well, anyway, the shrubs didn't know where he was because they hadn't seen him in a long time.
Did any of your friends see anything?
I don't know if it's relevant or not, but when you were all distracted doing things of the sort, I might have seen a darker corner that I slipped into, and the unseen there were confused. They seemed to be needing help. They were asking for help, but they were very confused that I was able to see them. They felt like they've never met anyone who's seen them before, whereas most of the unseen that I interact with, they seem a lot more free. So I don't quite understand what this group of unseen that's asking for help, unless, and you see like it's like gears are starting to click in her head. It's like there was also a group of guards that the unseen called that were dangerous, and they didn't want me to get anywhere near them. So I'm not sure if these guards were a part of the Baron's family and this was something that DuChamp had already contracted, or were these newly placed guards?
Like this,
like shadow guards.
the sigil that you showed me?
Yeah, that is a binding sigil. That sigil is used to bind unseen.
So they can see him too. Or somebody.
Somebody out there can see them. Somebody that's not me.
Well, while we're sharing, from what I could tell, the Hawks didn't know what was happening. They weren't in on it, as far as I could tell. I don't know about the other lords, but they seemed flat-footed, which is unusual for them.
I wish we could have asked them why they thought it was us. I mean, other than we're poor.
Well, from their perspective, we're the most likely suspect, I guess. Even though, in a lot of ways, we had the most to gain from this piece.
We did. You're right. He was about to bend. Seems like.
But was he about to bend?
I mean, that is the question.
They
isn't
have
it?
this planned from the beginning.
It's possible.
Yeah. They wait till they arrest us and then he reappears and then they can say,
Oh yes, they did it.
right. Well, there's a lot of conjecture here. How can we find out more?
I'm on team exploration of the Baron's place again.
You want to go back to the Baron's place?
Didn't have enough time to explore. Wasn't there? There was something you were looking at, right?
Yeah, there was a green room.
I don't think nobody noticed you. I saw a lot of shiny things, so.
It's gonna be dangerous going back there. I mean,
Is it even possible?
Anything's possible. Might be more dangerous.
If we can get me in there and try to find a quiet place for me, I can do a ritual to actually speak to the unseen a lot more. I didn't manage to get much from them, but if I'm able to sit down and set up my whole circle, I think I can talk to them a lot more. Maybe even mess around with any of the bindings that are there.
all right.
There's
Is
a
that?
bunch of servants, right?
How dangerous is that, though?
I was about to ask exactly the same. If they're bound, I mean, I don't trust the motives of the Baron or anyone working for him that might have bound them, but
You let me worry about that.
Well, we got your back.
Scored.
I mean, this daughter is also interesting. Is there any way? I mean, I think the Baron and his family went missing, right?
that's what they said.
So you're telling me the Baron, who was supposed to be at this grand thing, didn't have any guards with anyone? His entire family, not one guard, could have escaped and told he's gone. He just poofed, is what you're saying? Just poof? All that money and nobody was watching him. Not even his daughter, other family members.
Well, money don't buy sense.
And either way, they weren't sharing with us the supposed prime suspects. Well, I don't know if they'd be expecting us to go back,
Not quickly.
that we could use that against them.
And we probably shouldn't go the way we exited.
Well, as much as I'd like to see that again, yeah, you're probably right.
I would not like to see that again.
You know, it'd be really funny if the Baron had some underground way tunnel to get to his. He's got a bunch of money, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard anything?
That's a very broad question.
Anything.
As far as extra entrances and exits into.
I mean, a place like that has got 100,000 bolt holes. Get in and out. Do I know where they are? I have some ideas,
Do
but
you know anyone who might?
might be able to call on some favors. They're risky favors.
Risa, weren't you talking to somebody in the room?
Oh yeah, the under secretary. Yeah, just mentioned a couple lords and stuff. Seemed kind of skittish, and it seemed the other secretaries they called off for some reason.
Do you know who she was or who they were associated with?
No idea. I didn't get any good look at the notes, but I'm sure if I passed them by again, I could probably charm them a little.
Might be worth looking into. Hey, Joe, do you know where secretaries go to drink?
Wherever they can afford to. So, there's a couple dive bars. It's a couple of them might go to. It's always a question mark in it.
Sounds like fun.
Worth the once over.
I should not meet your eyes when you say things like that. It's ridiculous.
And then Risa grabs like a napkin from the bar counter and then gives her hand out as if to ask Philomena without asking, like, pen.
Of course. Here you are.
And then offers to scribble down the bars.
And he'll take it. Scribbles down a couple places. LeBlanc seems the most possible. It's where a lot of people go when, they're poor, but they want to seem up and up.
Wow.
Pretentious. It's a dive pretentious. Like, why mix the two? Squealing Pig might be a place to try.
I just want to go there based off the name.
Just the name, sure.
What's Squealing Pig known for?
So they have a trencher that they use for their signature drink. Have you heard of a hurricane?
No.
It's a lot of alcohol dumped into one container.
For cheap?
Yes. It might make you go blind.
Good to know.
And as they consider that, we do have about 5 minutes before we're going to be doing the drawing for the $25 of PDF stuff. So about 5 minutes to get those #thirsty going in the chat. So they have a lot of good stuff in there. You're not limited to Thirsty Sword Lesbians. I recommend it. But, you're not limited by that. So as the conversation is like ebbing and flowing, y'all hear the door open and close. Kind of furtively, as if someone's trying to get in without really being heard.
High alert.
You're all on high alert, so y'all
around,
hear.
Yeah.
The whole gang just like
Simultaneous.
And coming down the stairs is a femme-shaped person who just like stops when they see everyone just looking at them. Hello.
Hi. I'm Amanita Rubensis. What's your name?
Mercedes?
Mercedes?
Yes.
Benz.
No, Irene.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Mercedes, Irene.
Am I in the wrong place?
No, you're in the right place. Please have a seat.
What are you looking for?
Right. And she actually like draws back a hood, and her very blonde hair and bright violet eyes. Like, this is a woman of money, and it's not hard to put pieces together for Mercedes Irene DuChamp.
Oh.
My father's missing.
Oh!
And I heard that the Violettes might be able to help. Yes, I know this looks very suspicious, and I'm sorry.
You're missing
How
too.
did you get here?
Carefully?
Wait.
I wasn't in the manor.
Let me rephrase. How did you get here?
I walked.
Okay.
I'd like to figure out a person.
Sure.
Good call.
I want to figure out a person.
All right.
Can I roll first and then we can play the scene?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You need new dice, my friend.
I fail.
Hey, you're gonna level up real soon.
I can't figure out a person. I think Amanita gets really close to her and is looking at her, but not like super close.
Sure.
Like Amanita's overstimulated, so she's got some distance between her and Mercedes, but looking for her sword actually.
And as she turns a little bit, kind of startled, you can see under her long coat the hilt of a rapier.
Oh, the purple flowers in the room told me that your sword's name is Milady.
Oh yes, it was my mother's sword. Do you want to see her? The sword, I mean, not my mother's dead.
Not the sword.
No, my mother's not the sword.
What's your mother's name?
Her name was Irene. She passed away when I was very little.
You're named after her.
Yes.
He's just like Ambrose does not break eye contact, opens up a book and writes something down.
Why?
No reason.
Journaling. It's an art form. You know, we're all artists.
Yes, that's what they say about you. That you sing. And she looks over at Philomena, whose eyebrow is just like all the way in her hairline. and write poetry and journal, and it sounds beautiful. It sounds like everything I want.
Well,
Sorry, I didn't think I'd ever actually get to meet Les Violettes Dangereuses. That's a little Twitter-pated.
But how did you get here?
I walked. What do you want?
Who told you where to go?
Oh,
How did you?
yes.
I think what Gov is trying to ask is, how did you get here?
Thank you.
Let me clarify. Not everyone knows where we are right now, so how did you find us?
So, Zwick, the person who runs the bookshop above you, I've been visiting the bookstore and talking.
I think Philomena gets sort of a glint in her eye at that because similar thing happened to them. Says they got a good sense of character. Your paw's missing.
Yeah.
Um,
And they're saying that you did it, and I don't believe that. I don't.
Neither do we.
I mean, I hope not.
Do you got any clues on who might want to?
Not, my father and I don't really get on. He's trying to marry me off, and I rather object to that.
MILF?
What?
What did you say?
I said marry me off. What did you hear?
And then you hear Riza like do a sharp whistle to Joe and ask for a drink for the newcomer, Mercedes.
Yes, please, thank you.
Sorry, auditory processing.
No,
I heard
you're-
Marry MILF.
No, honestly, my father wants me to marry a MILF. Why are you objecting? And the problem?
Maybe she doesn't want children.
Any volunteers?
I volunteer.
I'll take your place.
Glorious.
And you're not into that.
I don't think I should get married before I have a better idea of who I am. I think that's a terrible idea, especially since I'd get married off to some barren son and go have to live on a different island. And I don't want to. This is kind of a messed up place, but it's home. As far as, I suppose, how I found you, how I came here, I've been asking a lot of questions the last year or so. And none of them have good answers. At least, not up there. So I'm doing my best to find places where I can find different answers. And I don't know where that's going to lead, but I'm here. And I want to help. And Philomena just snorts in the corner, just, oh, little girl.
Well, I hope you don't find this to be too enterprising, but how much power does your word carry?
Is that a word?
Enterprising?
No.
Oh, it was a reaction to a statement.
Okay.
Most definitely a word.
I'm a woman in a very male-dominated culture. So, slightly more than your average secretary, significantly less than your average lord.
So you, saying the Violets didn't do it. They'd say, oh, well, you're so impressionable.
Isn't that adorable, little girl? Go off and play with your needlework.
Exactly. All right.
Well, since
Needle. Because of the sword?
Yeah, that was wordplay.
It was
good.
beautiful.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, that was...
I made a joke.
You did. That was funny.
I'm a sucker for wordplay, so food just enticed.
And in this moment of levity, let me just announce that Dan Gamer Manx won the giveaway. Congratulations! Use it well. Come into the Discord and tell us all about whatever game you're gonna run. I'm very excited.
Make it juicy.
Make it juicy.
Always juicy.
So you must have grown up with meeting a lot of the lords and whatnot.
Oh, sure.
Do you have any leads or any ideas of who might have stolen, kidnapped, taken your father's breath away?
Hopefully
You
not.
think this was like a tryst?
I'm sorry, I don't know that word.
Like they ran away together in
An
a
affair.
romantic fashion.
Anything is possible. I said that earlier.
I mean, I suppose anything is possible, but you have to understand, as I fling everything around back here, you have to understand, my father ruled with something of an iron fist for most of my childhood and teenage years and young adult. It's only been in the last, it started about 6 years ago, as I'm sure you all know, and he's gotten worse. I don't know if worse is the right word. He keeps to himself most of the time. He's locked up in his library reading, the history books of all of the great conquests of the DuChamp family, and he and I aren't close. But without him around, it's just me. And that's a little scary.
Yeah.
He's not great, but he's better than whatever lord is going to vie to take that spot and take the seat in the council with the other barons.
When?
Oh, no.
When did you last see him?
We had dinner together 2 nights ago.
Do you go outside? Like, in the garden?
Oh yes, all the time.
Oh, okay.
It's beautiful out there.
She's cool.
We're good. Dinner 2 days ago.
Yes.
Anything off about him during the dinner?
No more so than usual. I mean, he was in the midst of preparations for the peace talks. He doesn't share much of that with me, of course, because I'm a girl. But I don't know, he seemed hopeful, maybe. I mean, nervous. He was constantly fiddling with things behind his plate, but hopeful.
Out of curiosity, I don't know. You said your father ruled with an iron fist. Did you have any guards watching you or watching him? Protecting?
I mean, always. But never...
So you happened to escape while the Baron was kidnapped?
I wasn't in the manor when it happened.
You're allowed to go alone?
Allowed is a strong word.
You snuck out.
I know pretty much every way in and out of that manor, yes.
Good to know. I guess based off of like Philomena's background, would they know any like sort of the hierarchy of the corporations? Like, I mean, is there like a particular group, like a particular lord who would be like, this is my chance? Or is it sort of a more like, there's a lot of people who are jockeying for position?
There are a lot of people who would be jockeying for the position, but you do know that there are probably like, from your knowledge and experience with the corporations, because you did have rather more to do with the corporations than pretty much everyone else here. You know that there are 3 lords who would likely leap at the chance really fast and start like infighting to try and get those positions.
Right.
One of them is Moreau.
Moreau.
Another is Garnier. Garnier. I'm probably mispronouncing that because I don't speak French.
Like the shampoo?
Garnier.
Garnier, like
Garnier
Garnier
Thinking of the shampoo.
Yes, yes.
Definitely not a sponsor. Okay, Garnier.
And Lambert.
Lambert. Okay.
Isn't it? No, that's not a cheese.
I was going to say,
That's
cheese.
I want cheese.
Also Camembert,
Oh.
which I only found out about because of freaking Ladybug and Cat Noir.
Cultured.
The things that we find out about through the weirdest corners. It's
Okay, so we got Moreau, Garnier, and Lambert.
are the most likely, you think, to start making power plays in that direction.
So I think I will float those names to Mercedes to see if any like take a particular hold, like if she's noticed them around the estate or like have they been
Well, so Moreau is the, I mean, if you know those names, you must know that Moreau runs my father's mining industry. I mean, he is certainly one of the best shoe-ins, I suppose. But then I suppose Garnier does run the refineries, which, I mean, without the gas, nothing goes. At least not there. And Lambert, I mean, without, I mean, he's the food lord.
Would you say
Fitting.
Actually, completely unintentional.
food lord? Would you say he trusts any one of them more than?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you. My father doesn't trust anyone.
Fair enough.
I'm not entirely sure he ever trusted my mother, and they were married.
And you don't have any siblings?
No, I'm the only one. My mother was always sickly. Stayed inside most of the time, didn't get that good sunshine and fresh air that is supposed to be so good for you. And after I was born, she was apparently never quite the same. And she passed away when I was 3.
Sorry to hear that.
It is what it is. So, yes.
Are any of them into blue suits?
Yes, Moreau. His colors are blue and white.
Oh,
The nervous one.
he's rude.
Oh yes, they're all terrible bores. They step on your feet when they dance too, and then they blame it on you.
Step on them back.
I tried, but when you
Oh, they're
have
good. They can evade.
they're very quick, and I'm not allowed to wear anything when dancing. I'm not allowed to wear anything heavier than a light slipper. Can't really get through a boot with that.
Not a steel line.
I'm sorry. I like you. What's your name?
All right, Riza. Nice. Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'll introduce myself too.
Oh, I think I've heard of you.
I do have a reputation.
Yes.
She's a very good poet.
I use a pen name for most of my published works. Edna Allen.
Oh, I've definitely heard that name. That's you.
Yeah. I don't want one of my reputations to ruin the other one, so that's why there's two names. But let's just say whatever you were raised up in doesn't shape who you are now. So I'm finding my own path.
Because you're a
Act
good
of-
person.
I was like, please say you're a good person. Get him.
So what will happen to you now that your dad's gone?
Well, if they're able to find him relatively soon, then hooray, things go back to normal. As normal as they ever are, I suppose. And if not, the barons of the Conglomerate will arrive and set a new baron in place.
I'm curious. The histories that your father's been reading and the things he was fiddling with at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know exactly what he was looking for? Like any volumes that stick out in particular?
I mean, they say history is written by the winner, right? So I think that he was drawing on a potentially not made up, but certainly exaggerated history of our family. Possibly. I get the sense that as he was diving deeper, as all of you were causing trouble, that he was looking for guidance. Because, I mean, according to those books, rebellions come and go, right? And if you deal with them quickly, they don't have time to propagate. But this one did. And he didn't know what to do about that.
I know you said he's not really close to anybody, but as someone who was at least literally close to him, do you think if this whole thing had gone through no issue, do you think he would have been amenable to us and to our cause?
I think that he would have had a hard fight on his hand with the Lords. And I think that there may have been more compromises than most would be comfortable with. But I do think my father's not a young man. And he doesn't have a son to succeed him. I think he's feeling that more and more every day, really. So I think that for the sake of getting peace, he might have at least listened.
What does Philomena and Nebula think about all of this?
Faye is sitting back, arms crossed, just listening to all of this, watching. And when you look over at Fair, kind of raises an eyebrow. kind of considers a moment. Well, she did put herself into the middle of trouble. If she was looking for ways to betray us, I mean, this is the worst place to come. Or the best place, I suppose. But I don't know. I'm withholding judgment.
Reading's good.
Yeah. I just don't know what to do. Like, what are you supposed to do now?
Well, we figure out a plan, right?
I mean, as far as I can tell, the Baron going missing benefits everybody but us. So, finding the Baron benefits us. We got a couple avenues. We got your secretary friend. We got a couple bar names. We got someone who has intimate knowledge of the manor.
Mm-hmm.
And a way to get back in.
You want to go in?
Yeah, there's this really nice green room that I want to look at. It was just all glowy and green.
Oh, the conservatory.
The conserva what?
It's where the plants that they don't do well outside are grown.
Huh?
So there are plants that belong in other climates, and we grow them here. Are you all right?
We're going back to the manor.
I've only read about those.
Oh,
It's loud there.
If we sneak, it'll be quieter.
How do you know?
Because we'll be sneaking.
Where are you thinking of getting us in?
Cove is one of the louder of us.
Floats.
I mean more when they throw cars.
Which
I love about you.
you threw a
Wait.
Yeah.
What? You were the
Please don't throw cars.
Will not, unless it means it's a life or death. I will not throw another car.
Okay.
I already threw the nice one anyway.
Philomena looks just the slightest bit disappointed. That's alright.
What are you thinking about?
Tangentially related? So when you float, are you able to turn and rotate and then because there might be some doorways. Are you able to come in horizontally?
Concentrates and really concentrates and settles on both of their feet. And it's I can walk.
I would like to figure out a person Cove and figure out if Cove is in pain.
go for it.
Get that experience. Ah, damn it. 7.
Hey, look at
I
that.
succeeded.
You succeeded. I don't usually hear a damn it from succeeding.
I'm 1 away from a new playbook move, guys.
I don't have any yet. This is the best I've ever rolled.
So when you figure out a person, you got a 7. So you may ask 2 of the questions, but Cove may ask 1 of you.
Okay.
Yes, that was my back, and yes, that felt good.
I didn't hear it, but I'm happy.
What are your feelings about floating? About having to physically exert yourself to...
It is, it takes a lot of effort to stay in this place. And concentrating that much more on being grounded in this place is painful.
Oh, okay.
So is being horizontal not an option? I'm imagining that, the floating magician trick where they pull a hula hoop around.
If you just put a blanket over me, I can pretend to be a table. And you just push me through.
What do you hope to get from this interaction with Mercedes.
Ooh. Juicy.
Peace, right? They're like ultimately, if Mercedes is telling the truth, and if the Baron is actually gunning for peace, like leaving this world in a peaceful place is like the ultimate goal, right? So yeah,
Okay.
peaceful place.
Your mind is on leaving a little bit, though.
I've always,
Always.
right?
Yeah.
At some point it'll happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. Eventually. Everything does. What do you hope to get from the manor, from the conservatory?
Oh, that's a good question.
While you're considering that, I will welcome in our raid from the Liching Hour.
Ooh.
Welcome, friends.
That's
It is very
so
good to see you.
good.
That is an excellent name.
I love
So
that.
good.
We're currently playing through our first episode of Thirsty Sword Lesbians in the world of Les Violettes Dangereuses. And they are currently in the Sugar Bowl, which is the jazz club that is their base of operations, speaking to the Baron's daughter, who was not kidnapped when her father was.
Sus.
Amanita has heard of conservatories before in like the big book that her community keeps track of. It's like a really old, outdated field manual, and has tried to make one and failed. And I think she wants to know how it works. I think she's like, she wants to recreate it, because if she can recreate it, then the seasons wouldn't be a problem, or the seasons that we don't have wouldn't be an issue. We could grow things that they can grow. So I think there's a bit of, I think what you read from that is a little bit of desperation and apprehension. She doesn't want to go back there because it's loud, and she's also still frightened. But there's a deeper thing that's driving them.
And you can talk to more plants.
Mm-hmm.
We can take those flowers.
I only want to take them if they're not happy.
Are the flowers happy?
I don't know. They get fertilizer and water, and they seem to grow well. Especially, the purple ones you talked about. Yes, they're beautiful, and they seem to do well enough in that room. I think I moved them there after they seemed to be kind of droopy in the other room.
They're happy. They're happy.
Okay, good. I do worry sometimes. I mean,
They like watching you practice.
oh no. Oh no.
That just endeared Cove to this person. All right.
So, how can I help? What do you... I have no mind for strategy.
What time of day is it?
It is... It's getting towards like mid to late afternoon.
Well,
And there are other Violettes and members, patrons of the jazz club starting to filter in. It's starting to get a little bit more people-y.
Isn't it open mic night?
Is it?
Philomena,
Yes?
is it open mic night?
Usually yes.
Okay.
I don't know if... Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, it's open.
I guess we're keeping it open mic night, even in the midst of gestures vaguely at the world.
Isn't that when people need it the most?
God.
Philomena looks at you, and there's like this strange, deep understanding in Fair's eyes. Yeah. Yes, I suppose it is when people need it the most, isn't it? Yes, you're right. We will have an open mic night tonight.
All right.
So I think we need to go back in.
Probably at night, though, right?
Yeah.
What time do people usually stop working?
Well, guards work all the time, and unseen guards.
Never sleep.
So I don't know if there's a right time, but I think, as we said earlier, they'll be expecting us the least probably today. But at night, maybe there's a little bit of a gap. I don't know. And, I mean, do you have any inclination towards following up your secretary friend?
I can go searching.
We could try. I mean, it's
If we
early
split the party, I swear to God.
We're not splitting. We're not splitting. No, that's
Maybe-
why I was asking, like, what time does secretary stop working? Maybe we could go try to find. What is her name?
Cora, I believe. I'm just calling her secretary for now.
Cora. Yeah, I think that was the name.
Okay, maybe we try to find.
Were you listening to our conversation?
Oh. I never. I don't pay special attention to you or anything. I just thought that you were. I was just worried about,
I appreciate you looking out for me. What does this Amber Rose say again? Oh, you're a good person.
More people
like
should
that.
say it to you. More people should say it to you.
Philomena, they're double teaming you.
So yeah. So maybe we go do that first, and then we go sneak without loud noises.
Correct.
and we
Right.
get a little open mic in the middle.
I like your ideas.
Yeah.
Mercedes, did you want to try open mic? We got some time, it seems.
I don't really have anything ready.
Maybe next time.
Sometimes you just have to wing it.
Improv is a beautiful art form.
And so is
Long-
karaoke.
I like that better. I do know some songs. I'm not a very
Oh,
good
a song.
singer. Sure.
We could do a group song. That
Ooh.
always makes me feel better.
You
I
know-
love karaoke.
There's a recent song. What is it? They're called The Boys Backstreet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what is that song
It's a hit
called?
song. It's top number 1. Oh,
Sort of about
wanting, desires,
Yes.
fires.
That rhymes.
Oh, it does.
wow.
Do you know that one?
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm sure Cove knows how it goes.
Something about wanting.
Cove is like flipping through the catalog of 1,000 past lives, being like,
Oh
there
my
are so
God.
many songs with fire and desire.
And then they are the
Imagining
easiest to
just
rhyme.
the thickest karaoke binder in the entire world in your brain.
In the brain or the titty folders?
I was gonna say they're gonna give Risa a run for her money.
The unknowable titties.
The unseen are whispering lyrics into my ears.
All right, 6 seconds, y'all.
So Riza just decides, you know what? How about I just start it for all of you? And then she goes up to the stage and she grabs some. Whoa! Wait! Can I do
Yes.
one of my playbook moves?
Absolutely.
It's
Which
called
one?
the main attraction. So when you make a dramatic entrance, wait, can I make one? Can I leave the camera and then come back on, or is...
Sure.
Yes. Dramatic
Give
entrance.
me a second. Okay, wait. I have to roll first. Hold on. Wait, so hold on. I'm not in the
You want to
camera.
use a bit? I feel like.
Okay, wait. So I have to get plus
guarantee
10.
your success.
Okay. Oh,
So we're using a
Okay.
bit.
Would you like to
We're
use
gonna
And
it?
use
then
it.
We're
it's
using a bit.
grace. So
This is a really
wait, so
important
so
role.
if it's 0, you start with 1 dice, right?
No, you start with 2.
You start with 2,
2 dice.
and then we got a bit, so 3.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then you roll with that.
Oh yeah, that's like over.
Okay,
over
11, a 12 plus your grace.
0.
12. Show us your strut.
Yeah, let's
Okay, okay.
enter.
So she
Okay.
like, can you be the mic stand?
Yeah. Sure.
Goes up and she's like, you are. And then she like looks at Coke. She's trying to like gather their memory. My
Fire!
the one. And then to Ember Rose.
Desire.
Forgot the lyrics. Goes
I think that's 6.
That's
I
so
want it that way. 6 seconds. But we beautifully sing the rest.
And then we sing it together as a group. And then like Riza offers a hand to Irene to kind of get them into the group and everything.
Sure. She like, and then joins in. She actually has a gorgeous singing voice. Like, you wouldn't believe it, but
Are we
like,
enticed right now?
Are we all
Enticed right now?
Group ties.
Group and ties.
Group enticed?
Sure.
We're all in trance.
I'm not supposed to roll dice.
Well, it happened. It happened.
Excellent. You know what? I will spend all of my GM strength to make all of you flustered.
Oh my goodness.
It worked.
I don't think that's how that's supposed to work. But screw it.
Can I
It
say
is
one
now.
more thing?
Absolutely.
I think all of this and how sweet you are, Philomena is feeling smitten.
Oh my
Oh, wonderful. I'm.
What now? What now?
I don't know.
When-
Say why.
When you become smitten with someone, always your choice. Say why, give them a string on you, and answer the question in the Truths of Heart and Blade section of your playbook.
Okay, I'm so nervous.
We're
So,
awkward and flustered.
I mean, I think it is like a communal, like it's built up over time this day, but just like how like caring you've been all day, and like how like you're like bringing Mercedes in this moment, and like using your strengths to just like create this like bond between all of us. Like, you're really like actively seeking out each person, and like it's just like really sweet and lovely. You're like using your power in like the kindest possible way. And then what circumstances, or this is the Truth of Heart. Wait, I'm trying to find it. Where is this?
It's next here. It's here.
Okay. Truth of Heart and Blade. Why do you think they would be wrong to forgive you?
Oh, that's especially pointed because it's Riza.
Yeah. I mean, I think the obvious answer is her family. I think in this moment, it's like, after seeing May today, it's like, I don't know if I trust myself. I'm like, I don't know how solid I am. I might turn again. I don't know. Yeah.
Like you're a bad person.
I think I'm a bad person.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Beautiful. And give her a string on you.
Oh, yes. Let me get
And while
this
we're
out.
doing that, our own Lady Bedivere has sent in 1,000 bits for the control room. There.
Control room bit.
I don't know if the microphone's picked up the clank sound, but that's one of the most satisfying sounds I've
I
ever
wanna
heard.
figure
Got
out
a camera?
how are they using them?
Yeah,
I-
how do you use
That's a great question.
Just figure it out.
We'll find out next week.
Maybe. Oh, beautiful. So the open mic night progresses swimmingly, actually. And you're all gathered together in this place, gathered in music and poetry and love, or at least attraction. And you're watching as Mercedes is like relaxing a little bit because if you'd plucked her, she would have hummed like a violin string. She's freaked, but she's starting to calm down. And you're all watching. Well, everyone roll me a d6.
Ooh.
5.
4.
4.
4.
3.
Got the countdown.
That was impressive and statistically not likely. Amber Rose, as you're kind of like in the back a little bit, listening and watching to everything, you glance over and you see Philomena Nebula watching everyone with a very intense look on Fairface. And you see Faye reach for Fairchest, and you see a sword handle start to coalesce in Fairhand, and then it's gone. And Faye looks absolutely crushed in that brief second before Faye looks up and sees you looking and just goes back to that casual nonchalance.
Oh, am I allowed to go up to them?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So I approach Faye. Yeah, you look upset.
That's certainly one word.
Can I ask why?
I don't suppose that... No, we've done a reasonable job of keeping it secret, I suppose. I haven't...
Does that have anything to do with the hilt I saw come out of your chest? You didn't pull it out all the way.
I couldn't.
I can't either.
What is your art?
I write. Sometimes story, sometimes poetry. I don't really know what I'm writing, just it's scribbles sometimes.
Would you be willing to share them with me?
You see Amber kind of like pull out her journal and kind of grip at it before nodding and just handing it over. And when Nebula opens it, it just seems like this tons and tons of like poetry and stories and just so many like just over the years just rambles and just so on and so forth of how this person thinks. But as she flips further and further, it just seems like the scribbles start becoming less and less legible. And it seems like instead of creative outlets, it's more like research notes and just like mad ravings at that point.
Faye will flip to the final pages and then look up at you and come back to the last legible poem and turn it around and hand it to you. Read it to me.
I've never read it out loud to anyone before.
There's a first time for everything.
And you see Amber Rose's hands start kind of shaking, and her hands look absolutely clammy, and there's like this deer in headlights look in her eyes where she looks and it's like her mouth is moving, but there's nothing is coming out.
Your words are good. I haven't read poetry so darkly sweet in a very long time.
You're the only one that's ever complimented me on that. Granted, I've only shown it to one other person before. And you see her kind of close in, just maybe another time.
When you're ready. But no, those kinds of words, they clamor at your heart. They tear at the inside of your ribcage, demanding to be heard.
When I find my voice to say these words, I hope you're in the crowd for it.
I hope so too. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. And you see her kind of like close her eyes and I'm glad I've joined the Violettes.
I'm glad you have too. And I hope you find your voice. And in so doing, your sword.
And I hope you regain your voice so that you can pull your sword out once again.
I'm so tired. All of this, everyone, they depend on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't do the one thing that I used to be able to do, to inspire, to lead.
Sometimes we don't always have to be the ones that lead. If you're everybody's support beam all of the time, sometimes that beam will crumble and crack, and sometimes it's okay to let other beams hold up the weight.
You're very wise for being so young. I mean, you're right. It's perfectly obvious when you put it like that. I'm not good at asking for help.
Not very many people are. They feel like they're burdens if they do. But if you think about it like this, if the people that you care about, you would want them to ask you for help when they need it, right? So if they're not burdens for asking you for help, then why are you a burden for asking others for help? Just think about that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of just like awkwardly scoot back to myself. Shimmy.
And Philomena Nebula settles back in fair seat, just pondering, just watching everyone, because now more of the Violettes have arrived, having heard what happened. More of your comrades in arms and art, and the open mic night it's hopping. There's so much beautiful poetry that is being read, the beautiful songs that are being sung. Some of the Violettes have drawn their blades with a soulful tune and are demonstrating beautiful sword dances. Riza, you recognize a couple of these dances. They're very similar to what your grandmother taught you.
I think at this point, amongst all like the laughter and everything, I think though most of the time Riza gets carried away with the party, I think the glittering of the sword dances, she kind of like, I think gracefully takes a step back, and as people are chatting amongst herself, she takes the time to admire those dances, and in a way it makes her like melancholy because that grandmother no longer is with her, so it's kind of like a reminder of why she's here. And then it's also a reminder of the very fact that she cannot draw a blade, though she takes pride in the one that her grandmother gave, a physical sword. But quickly she regains herself and she joins in the jovial laughter and everything seems fine.
Feelings.
Therapy.
Is there anything in particular that people are doing as performances, or people that they're talking to as you're decompressing after the very stressful trip to the manor, or perhaps psyching yourselves up for what is to come tonight?
I think Cove would take a little time to find Frida and make sure that like things are set for if this team goes in, like making sure the backup plan, all the boring stuff. Making sure that all the backup plans and everything are in place, like collateral, all of that, set up stuff. And then beyond that, gleefully taking in everything that's happening on the stage. And
Yeah. And you and Frida work out a plan for the rest of the Violettes to start causing problems across the city, to start drawing attention out and away from the manor. Mercedes does tell you that the manor will never be completely empty, but with the focus outward, trying to find her and her father, the guard presence might be lighter. And she knows all kinds of ways in. She just wants to know, what are you looking for? Where do you want to go? I mean, obviously the conservatory, but she doesn't know if there's anything else that you want or need. Out of game, you had mentioned you wanted somewhere that you could go and do your ritual.
Right, somewhere undisturbed.
If you mentioned that to her, she's like, oh, there's hundreds of rooms in the place that aren't disturbed. Do you need anything in particular?
Somewhere particularly sacred, somewhere that hasn't been tread upon very often.
There's a couple options for that. There's a chapel. I go in there periodically, but no one else really does. Or there's a rose bower that was my mother's favorite place to be, I'm told.
And no one ever comes in, or no one ever comes out?
No one really goes there.
I think that might be the place.
All right.
I think Philomena sort of, getting back her bearings. Like, okay, no more crushing.
After getting smitten.
Yeah, no more crushes. All right, business.
Bowl.
Well, we need to find out what happened to Baron. That's why we're going, right? And I have faith that both of y'all could find out things with your own resources, but maybe his quarters is a place worth going and investigating. And I still think his head honchos are worth looking into, but if we're going into the manor, perhaps there's more to see at the scene of the crime, as it were.
Yes, I can absolutely get you into his quarters. I'm fairly sure he keeps a journal, and if he hasn't gotten any better at hiding things since I was little, I know where it probably will be.
Good to know. All right.
does he have any other places he disappears to, secret labs or
not to my knowledge.
Libraries.
I mean, he mostly spends his time in his work study and his private study and his suite, the bedroom and all. He takes a lot of hot baths. Odd thing to know, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, yeah. Could have been a potential kidnapping spot. Vulnerable.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. Ooh. That sounds unpleasant.
Yes. All right. Well, okay. So we got at least 3 locations we're trying to hit up. Rose Bower, Conservatory, his quarters. Anything else?
I think I'm gonna have to catch up with that Undersecretary, then catch up with you guys.
Well, I hate to see you go alone.
I'm big and strong.
I think we should all go.
Weren't we all gonna go and then we were gonna go?
Yeah, we're gonna do some bar hopping first, and then we're gonna go.
Do you actually hop on the bars?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. I like that. That sounds fun. What do you do when you're up there?
I feel like the squealing pig would especially be open to hopping.
Like this.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And then do a little bit of this.
This.
Like a seaweed.
Seaweed?
Yes. A seaweed. It's a weed from the sea.
I have to look at my book. But okay.
Yes.
What is a weed anyway? Is there any such thing as a weed? I don't think so. What is a weed?
An invasive species.
Well, no, they're the species that is supposed to exist, and then everybody calls them. You could say we were weeds.
Except we're not.
Right.
I would like to do the thing before going back to the loud place.
The bar hopping?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So we'll go hop some bars, see if we see any secretaries.
Try the trench. The trench.
I thought it was something pig, right?
Squealing pig.
The
Squealing
Blanc
pig.
and the squealing pig.
And the Blanc. Yeah, and keep our heads low, because...
Pigs are intelligent. We should go there first.
Sounds like a good time.
All right, and as they finish making their plans for bar hopping, we're gonna wrap up for this evening.
Already?
I know, it's already almost 10. Can you believe
I didn't
it?
get to hop on the bar yet.
So thank you all.
This
So,
isn't about a mystery, it's about bar hopping.
¿Por qué no las dos? Thank you all so much for joining us for our first episode of Thirsty Sword Lesbians. Join us again next week as the Thirsty Sword Lesbians get their drink on.
I might be able to do one of my trials, which is experience an altered state with a friend.
Ooh, we are so here for this. So, running through the upcoming schedule, the Redacted Reports is currently on hiatus, but go and check out anything that is on the previous feed. There's a lot to catch up on before season 6 starts dropping. Spelljammer is going to be going on YouTube on Monday. Episode 11, the penultimate episode, is dropping next Monday at 6 p.m. So, challenge for all of you, my beautiful viewers, this evening. Tell a friend about Thirsty Sword Lesbians. This episode is going to be on YouTube on Thursday. So, invite people to watch the thing. We would love to have this be a successful show for this wonderful Pride Month with these glorious, glorious cast. So, thank you all. James, you don't get to put it in now.
Yes.
Fine. If they ask, tell them it's juicy in characters and plot.
Juicy.
And on that note, stay juicy, my friends.
Stay juicy.